Fox Sports.
We are the Fourth. We are so.
With temperatures in the triple digits, a weekend in Arizona might be just what the Braves need to heat up at the plate. While Julio Teheran digs in tonight against a Diamondback club fresh off its second-best offensive output in franchise history. Tonight, it's game 1 of 3 in the desert. It's the Braves and Diamondbacks next on Fox Sports South. We welcome you to the Grand Canyon State and Phoenix, Arizona, where the Braves come to town and try to gain some traction against the National League's Western Division. All year long, Braves baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the right stuff, the low price, every day. It's our first look at the slumping Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona's fresh off a 3-game sweep of the Colorado Rockies. The Braves were just swept by Seattle. It's our first look at our old friend Martin PRADO in a year. He's back in uniform for the Diamondbacks as Justin Upton returns to face his former team as well. And hi again, friends, with Joe Simpson, Chip Carey. Welcome to Phoenix, where the Braves hope to get on track offensively, partner. 15 straight innings without a run, and who better to get going against a struggling Diamondbacks club at home?
Well, this Arizona ball club, to say the least, has not played well at home. They have the worst record in all of baseball with only 9 wins in their home ballpark. But if the Braves offense wants to get this going, this is the perfect road trip to get it done. 3 games here at Chase Field against the Diamondbacks, the worst record in baseball, as I said. But check out these numbers. Starters ERA, runs allowed, hits allowed, and home runs allowed, the worst in baseball. 4 games at Coors Field. You know what Coors Field is like. And all of a sudden, the Rockies are playing horrible baseball with an ERA over 6. So what all that leads up to and adds up to is the fact that you can get well in a hurry offensively if you're the Atlanta Braves lineup and start tonight against Brandon McCarthy, who has not won a game in his home park in his last 8 starts.
And even better for Atlanta, they've got their ace, Julio Teheran, who's won his last 3 decisions. He gets the ball in the series opener at Chase Field. When we come back, Jason Heyward has been heating up. Jen Hildreth will talk about Jason Heyward's renaissance at the top of the Braves batting order when we come back to Phoenix after this.
of a 3-game series. Hi, everybody. I'm Jen Hildreth at Chase Field. It is beach night in the desert. And while you try to wrap your arms around that, the Braves will try to rebound from a 2-game sweep by the Mariners. Now, one thing the Braves have gotten lately is some better production from the top of their lineup. Most notably, the guy at the very top. J-Hey has been bringing it on a 9-game hitting streak. He's been hitting .333 with a .409 on-base percentage. He's hit safely in 21 of the past 24 games, and in the last 22 has 3 homers, 9 RBI, and 12 runs, and has raised his average 45 points. Now, Jason told me he credits his better hitting to better timing, and I asked hitting coach Greg Walker about that before the game.
His hand move is fairly difficult. It's something that's not what you would teach a young kid to do, but it's just who he is, and he battles that a little bit. But if he ever gives himself time to swing the bat, he understands path, and he's so physically gifted that, and he's been giving himself time.
Just be patient up there, J-Hey. He's been doing well with the timing, and he will have a new man hitting behind him tonight as ANDRELTON Simmons will slide into the number 2 spot with B.J. Upton out. Jordan Schaefer will bat 8th and play center field. But we'll see if that top of the order can keep up their good work and get the Braves a win. Julio TEHERAN is ready to get to work, and so are we. Chip and Joe will have the call. First pitch on the way when we come back.
South. Tonight's game is brought to you by our friends at Blimpie. Very comfortable inside with the roof closed, but as Joe said, they may open the roof a little later on. And if they do, this great hitter's ballpark becomes an even better hitter's paradise. That's exactly what the Braves are hoping tonight. Their Toyota starting 9 features former Diamondback Justin Upton, who's worn out his former team. Different look to the lineup with ANDRELTON Simmons hitting second. Jordan Schaefer gets a start in center field. He'll bat 8th.
And Brandon McCarthy's on the mound for the Diamondbacks, 30 years old. Great big lanky guy, 6'7", 200 pounds, out of Glendale, Arizona. 17th round pick originally in 02 by the White Sox. His ERA by innings this year, well, not bad. In fact, he's gone for the last 6 games. He has not given up a run in any of the first 3 innings. After that, Katie bar the door. His 4 keys to pitching success. Home sweet home. Well, that's a big question mark too. His last 11 innings, 10 runs, 18 hits, and he has not won a game here in this ballpark his last 8 starts. And as we just showed you, his first 3 innings seem to be okay. After that, who knows what might happen. He's never faced the Braves before.
So McCarthy's ready to go. So is Jason Heyward. And we are underway. Mike Machlinski raises the right hand at strike one. 103 degrees outside at first pitch. And a balmy 80 inside. Down and in for Heyward. 2 balls and a strike.
Good fastball from this guy. Tops out at about 94, but he's got a good sinker and a slider. Hard to figure why he is really struggling.
Bouncing ball right side and out of reach of Aaron Hill. So Heyward bangs a single through the hole on the right side of the diamond. And his road trip's off to a good start. Jason now with a 10-game hitting streak.
That was a sinker that was supposed to be down, and it wasn't. A little top spin on that second bounce and out of the reach of Aaron Hill. 10 in a row hit in by Jason Heyward.
So Andrelton Simmons gets to hit second tonight. Downstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Why is there a different look to the Braves lineup? Well, B.J. Upton welcomed his second child into the world today, and he was a little late getting back from Tampa. So he was originally in the starting lineup, but Freddie Gonzalez obviously changed that up. Simmons hit second. Jordan Schaefer gets a rare start in center this evening.
Tuffy OOSEWISCH behind the plate tonight instead of Miguel Montero. Tuffy 0 for 7 against base stealers so far on the year.
Broken bat roller past first, and Simmons will face an even count. Braves have used 5 different hitters in the 2-hole this season. B.J. Upton's gotten the most starts with 40 of them. Justin Upton batted there 12 games. Ramiro Pena 3. This is Simmons' 3rd start hitting second, and Tyler Pastornicki also has batted second once. Simmons, as you know, one of the toughest guys in our league to strike out. So chance for Freddie Gonzalez to manage a little bit here.
Yeah, and this guy throws strikes. He doesn't walk anybody. He's only walked 13 in 72 innings. Maybe that's part of his problem. He throws too many strikes, and especially too many to the middle of the plate. He's given up 11 homers.
Foul again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That sounds like such a crazy thing to say of any pitcher. He throws too many strikes. We bemoan the fact when pitchers don't throw enough of them.
Yeah, and it's hard to figure out. Like I said, he's a better pitcher. You would expect him to be a better pitcher than his numbers tell you. 3 walks or less in 93 straight starts. It's not hard to do if you're only going 3 2/3 or 4 1/3. Those 93 starts add up quickly.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Good lead for Jason at first. Paul Goldschmidt holds him there. And Andrelton is down on strikes. That ball had some movement to it. 1 on, 1 out for first baseman Freddie Freeman.
The Diamondbacks are just hoping to come home and get some good pitching. They had such an incredible series in Colorado with the bats that if they can somehow, they're not going to duplicate it, but just stay hot and get some good pitching, they like their chances of getting things turned around at home.
Where they are 9-22, as you mentioned, so far this season. And Freeman pops 1 out of play, foul to the left side. Strike 1 to the Braves first baseman. And you're right, they had a tremendous offensive series against the Rockies. I mean, almost record-setting type stuff. That's the good news. Bad news is they had a 5.33 ERA in those 3 games at Coors Field. So they really had to out-hit their own pitching staff. And were able to do it against a slumping Colorado club, whom we'll see next.
Playing Freddie to pull in the infield and playing him to go the other way in the outfield. Gregorius playing way up the middle at short. Loves hitting against these guys.
The deadliest hitter against the Diamondbacks in baseball since 2011. And Freeman takes low, ball 2. Now he's missed low again. 3 balls and a strike. Justin Upton waits next. Folks in the pool might want to get the hands up. Roller to the right side. Hill's going to fire to second for 1. Gregorius' return to first is late. And Hayward is forced at second. Nice play by Hill to get the leading runner. And Justin Upton will hit with a man aboard and 2 out.
Left fielder number 8, Justin Upton.
So Justin Upton back in Phoenix. Boy, he had a wonderful series against these guys in his first homecoming as a member of the Braves. And he takes one at the knees for a strike.
McCarthy has a good ground ball to fly ball ratio. His sinker is a hard sinker, so he's going to get some balls, as we've already seen this inning, some balls that are topped.
Pitcher's pitch there has Upton behind 0-2. Strike 3 call. McCarthy up to his old tricks, pitching well in the early innings. A couple of strikeouts, and the Braves are out of luck in the top of the first. First, here come the Diamondbacks with the 26th and 36 record on the year. Kirk Gibson's starting nine, presented by Toyota, features Martin Prado. He's their cleanup man. Diamondbacks have an injury-riddled roster, but Joe Martin's riding a real hot streak, and he's in there trying to protect Paul Goldschmidt, their all-star first baseman, who bats third.
Yeah, he had a slow start, but Martin has returned to form. He'll need that tonight. Julio Teheran, since that horrible outing in San Francisco, his last 3 starts, he's given up 2 runs, and that was on a 2-run homer to Giancarlo Stanton, his last time out, when he went 7 1/3, 5 hits and 2 runs. But take a look at those numbers over his last 3. He's been outstanding. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight. Well, number 1, dry air. That plagued him in San Francisco. It's certainly dry air here tonight. We'll see if that has an effect on his grip. And a good day to pitch, indeed. Owings, Montero, not in the lineup tonight. They were 13 for 23 with 4 homers in Colorado, but not playing tonight. Thank you very much.
There have been some head-scratching lineups for Kirk Gibson over the last week, if not longer, for this Arizona ball club. So you're right, Teheran happy about that as he faces off with Didi Gregorius. And his first a beauty, strike 1 called. Gregorius up from the minor leagues just a couple of days ago. And he takes high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
One of the telltale signs in San Francisco for Julio was missing high.
Popped out of play, back toward us. A ball and 2 strikes.
Couldn't get his fastball down because he just couldn't feel the baseball coming out of his fingers. And everything was up.
Gregorius was born in the Netherlands. He lives in Curacao. He's 24 years of age and was originally a Cincinnati Red. He came to the Diamondbacks as part of a big 3-team trade. Trevor Bauer, Brian Shaw, and Matt Albers went to the Indians. Shin Soo Choo and Jason Donald went to the Reds from Cleveland. That was at the end of the 2012 season. And a high fly ball hammered toward right. Hayward back up against the fence. He's not going to get it. Didi Gregorius' first at bat at home this year turns into an opposite field home run. 1-0 Arizona.
Another first inning homer. He wanted this ball in, a fastball in. You can see that it wasn't, and it was belt high. Just out of the reach of Jason. Jason might have had a chance at it if he'd had a chance to get there and climb the fence.
So Gregorius with a homer. Not an opposite field homer, my mistake. He pulled it, and it's 1-0 Arizona, just like that here at Chase Field. Here's Parra. Gerardo Parra at 281 with 5 homers and 23 knocked in. And in for a strike. It's an even count. We've seen that a lot from Teheran, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. But if there's anything that will keep the mindset of this Diamondbacks team on fire offensively, it's a leadoff homer.
We talked about McCarthy. After the first 3 innings, the game implodes. With Teheran, it's usually after 30 pitches. He really is almost impossible to hit.
He's better.
So 2 balls and a strike. 1-0 D-backs. And now 2-2. Parra is one of the better players in the National League that not many fans have heard much about. This man's a Gold Glove winner. And he didn't get that pitch from Teheran. He struck out. First for Julio in the game. And there's Out number one with Paul Goldschmidt standing in. Everybody in baseball knows about this guy.
Well, he's their best hitter. He leads them in a lot of different categories. They had a day off Monday, then went to Colorado, and he didn't play on Tuesday in Coors Field. I bet he was stalking and pacing in the dugout.
He takes a strike. Paul Goldschmidt had a super year last year for the Diamondbacks. Hit .302, 36 homers, 125 RBIs, played in every game but 2, and was second in the MVP voting behind Andrew McCutchen.
He was a fairly late round draft pick too.
8th round.
So the only 4 guys in baseball to lead their team in homers, RBIs, hits, extra base hits, and runs scored. And how many of you knew that Brantley in Cleveland would be one of those 4 guys? He's having a great year and a good player, like you've heard of the other 3.
No balls, 2 strikes for Paul Goldschmidt, who has to build a new trophy case in his house. He won the Hank Aaron Award. He won the Mel Ott Award. He won the Silver Slugger. He won the Gold Glove. And was the Arizona chapter of the Baseball Writers Association of America's MVP winner here in Phoenix. And like so many major league clubs, they've locked him up for a long, long time through the 2018 season with an option for 2019. Sweeping slider got Goldschmidt. Nasty pitch. That had some angry on it, didn't it? 2 outs after the homer by Gregorius.
He got both Parra and Goldschmidt to swing at pitches off the plate. See how much that breaking ball was moving on Goldschmidt for sure.
Well, it's always good to see our pal Martin Prado. Multi-hit games in the last 23 he has played for Arizona. Anthony's, he takes a strike. He'll have a big day here tomorrow. It'll be Martin Prado bobblehead night.
I think he just looked up at the scoreboard and made him laugh. Beach night here.
And why not? What a picture.
Got that big smile on his face. I think he had just looked up there.
No balls, 2 strikes.
He went 7 for 12 at Coors Field.
And how many times did we see Martin Prado as a Brave do that? 0-2 count, just spoil a pitch. And then hit it hard someplace. Fly ball, shallow right. Hayward comes in. He's under it, and he's got it. And that'll retire the side. Didi Gregorius hits a long home run to lead off the game for the D-backs. 1-0.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by AT&T Uverse, Delta Airlines, and Ford.
Busy night in Phoenix, where the Diamondbacks have scored first on a Gregorius homer to right field. Here in the Braves second, Evan Gattis will lead things off. Chris Johnson, Tommy La Stella to follow against Brandon McCarthy. And that caught a corner. It's a called strike.
Good look back from Evan Gattis. I don't blame him. That looked a little wide.
Evans riding a hot streak. He's got a 7-game run with 4 homers in that stretch. And 12 for the season with 27 RBIs.
McCarthy's gone right back to that spot 2 more times to see if we can get the call.
And foul at the plate now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Evan didn't get the heat. He's down swinging. That's 3 strikeouts for McCarthy. And that's how the second inning starts for the Braves.
He's averaging about 8 strikeouts per 9 innings, 66 strikeouts in 73 innings. So he's doing all right in that department. But again, he throws strikes. He's around the plate. He gets swings. He gets, as you see, some swings and misses. He also has a lot of swings and contact.
Prado's first chance at third on the first pitch to Chris Johnson. And in time, there's the second out. Arizona has had some trouble defensively, too. That does not work well with a struggling pitching staff. The D-backs have committed 46 errors, which have led to 32 unearned runs. The only team in the league that has given up more unearned runs than Kirk Gibson's club is Washington. They've handed out 34 unearned runs so far.
And Washington's been last in the league in defense for quite a while.
So Tommy La Stella bats with the bases empty and 2 out, hitting .409 and riding a 4-game hit streak of his own.
He had a good defensive series against the Mariners, didn't he?
4 outstanding plays turned in by La Stella. This is a game where reputations are so hard to shake. The reputation for Tommy always was in the minor leagues. Terrific offensive prospect, but his glove work needed work. Other than the 1 game in Boston, it's looked pretty smooth out there at second base, if not spectacular at times.
If you just make the routine play, everybody would be happy.
Good count here for La Stella. 3 balls and a strike. And he lines it past Gregorius and into center field. Second Atlanta hit.
Makes him 10 for 23 in the big leagues with that nice, easy setup, preparation, short swing, and a line shot over short.
His follow through at first glance reminded me of Eric Hinsky just a bit. Just the way he finished with his hand coming up.
Huh, I'll have to watch next time.
So Estella's at first for Jordan Schaefer, the Braves' 8th place hitter. And in for a strike.
Jordan needs some at bats. So however they come tonight, because BJ is just returning from the birth of his second child for Jordan Schaefer. He's won for his last 21. A lot of those are just one at bat games or a pinch hit appearance. But 3 or 4 at bats tonight will do a lot for him.
An opposite field single for Jordan Schaefer. Estella will stop at second, and the Braves will clear the pitcher here in the top of the inning. That's 3 hits for Atlanta so far in the game.
Good for Jordan. Sometimes he can get a little pull happy. That ball and fastball was running away from him. Was up some and didn't try to do too much with it.
I think that's something we've seen team wide over the last 3.5 weeks, would you say?
Absolutely. And there have been games. I mean, I know they're in a scoreless drought right now, but there have been games like the first game against Seattle where they break out and score 5 or 6 runs and 12 hits, and it's not enough. It's kind of a bad luck day.
So TEHERAN will try to help himself here. 2 on, 2 out.
But you're right. For the most part, over the last 2 to 3 weeks, especially at the top of the order with Hayward and BJ Upton, they've been finding some holes and shooting the ball through the infield and going the other way.
One ball, 1 strike.
Now, if Julio does drop one in out there in Julio land in shallow right field, Tommy La Stella's got to get a great jump. He's really got to be going on the crack of the bat, because number 1, PARRA is playing shallow. And number 2, he's got one of the better arms in right field in the National League. In fact, the kid in center field, Ender Inciarte, also voted as having the best speed and the best arm in their minor leagues last year.
One ball, 2 strikes. And now 2-2.
And how about all 3 of their outfielders from Venezuela?
Foul ball at the plate. And we'll do it again. The Braves began play tonight in the East, tied with Miami. Atlanta's a half game ahead of the Marlins. That's because the Cubs beat Miami in extra innings today at Wrigley Field. That was a 5-3 final score. So a chance to move a game ahead of the Marlins if the Braves can win tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And over the outside corner at the knees, that'll retire the side. 4 strikeouts for McCarthy. He scattered 3 hits, and he leads by an early run. Chase Field all season long. Braves baseball is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. Before Arizona comes up in the second inning, let's check out tonight's Home Depot tools from the dugout. Can't think of two more diametrically opposed pitching staffs in the National League. Can you?
Boy, I'll tell you what, if you put this pitching staff with the Arizona offense the way they're going right now, they may be unbeatable. Atlanta's pitching has been outstanding from day one. A few hiccups here and there that aren't too many. And the Arizona Diamondbacks pitching has not been there. Starters ERA, the worst in baseball. Their bullpen actually not too bad. They're ranked 9th at 3.60. But boy, oh boy, there's a lot of ugly numbers there on the right side of those columns.
Now, in fairness to Arizona, they have gone through something very similar to what the Braves have gone through, and that's the Tommy John epidemic, as it's been called throughout Major League Baseball. They have missed and have lost some very important pieces on this ball club. Patrick Corbin, a 14-game winner. Daniel Hudson, he was a 16-game winner a couple of years ago. He's having 2 Tommy Johns now. I mean, that's difficult for any franchise to overcome. It makes what the Braves have done this year even more remarkable that to this point they have been able to.
Exactly. Well, they've lost some position players they couldn't afford to lose to, and yet they're still plugging along offensively.
This is Aaron Hill, and he drives one deep toward left. Upton back onto the warning track, feels for the fence, and has just enough room to make the play for out number 1.
This is a big ballpark, but it's really only big from deep left center to deep right center, because straight away it's 407. There's even a couple of spots out there that are 413. But the power alleys are 376. That's not big by anybody's measurement. So the ball will carry and it will jump, especially in the alleys.
This is David Peralta. He was called up from AA Mobile. Peralta's getting some extended looks for the Diamondbacks because Cody Ross hasn't been the same since he hurt his hip last year. And he shoots one out towards short. Simmons gobbles that up and throw the first in time for out number 2. 5 in a row retired by TEHERAN after the leadoff home run. You mentioned the other injuries for Arizona. Offensive players. A.J. Pollock, broken hand about a week ago. Bad break.
6 or 8 weeks, you're saying.
No pun intended. And Mark Trumbo, supposed to be a big-time run producer for these guys. He's got a stress fracture in his foot. And in a division where you have the Dodgers with a $239 million annual payroll, and when you have the pitching staff that the San Francisco Giants feature, that's tough to overcome. And to this point, Arizona hasn't. They're 10 games under 500.
Well, not only do they need Mark Trumbo back, they need him back like the guy that they got from the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Last year, 34 homers, 100 RBIs. He's hitting 210 right now. 7 homers, 19 RBIs.
Arizona last place in the West. They're 14 games behind the Giants. Tuffy OOSEWISCH to third. Nice pick by Chris Johnson, and he'll get the Arizona catcher, and that retires the side. 1-0 Diamondbacks. Top of the order up for the Braves. That's our Delta Airlines on deck feature in a 1-run game.
Braves, and I had a chance to talk about the top of the order with hitting coach Greg Walker before the game today. Talked about Jason Heyward, who's been on a tear, has now extended it to a 10-game hitting streak with his hit already in this game. And the thing that Walk talked about with Jason was timing, how he just has to trust himself and be patient up there. But Jason is a player who said he's kind of always tweaking, look at mechanics. And then Freddie Freeman is somebody totally different. Freddie says, I don't look at video, I just put my foot down and swing. And Greg Walker said, you know what? We trust him too. We kind of trust what he's doing. Rarely will we do anything mechanical with him. We trust that he's going to get it back going again real soon.
You know, Jen, they've said at times with Freddie Freeman, if he's struggling, all they do is a little bit of soft toss and he's ready to go. No live BP to work on anything. Usually that does the trick.
First pitch swing, bouncing ball by Heyward to Goldschmidt. McCarthy covers the bag, and there's the start of the top of the third inning. I think that's an interesting story to talk more about. It's the art of coaching. You have to know your personnel and know what works and what doesn't when times are good or times are bad. I think Greg does an outstanding job of that.
Well, and he's tough enough to challenge guys too, and he knows those guys that he needs to challenge and kind of get in their head a little bit and say, you know, take it up a notch. You're working hard enough. You're doing things right. I mean, he's not shy about doing that.
So here we go with McCarthy again. 2 1/3 scoreless innings. That has been his calling card all year long. Cruises or has effective first, second, and third innings, and then the roof falls in. And with 3 hits in the game. McCarthy's had mid-90s stuff that's seemingly moving all over the place.
Yeah, that was his best one of the night right there, 94. You know, I've heard of guys hitting a wall at 85 pitches or 90 pitches or the 7th inning, 8th inning, they just in their head they can't get past that. I've never heard of a guy that has this kind of stuff, pitched this well for 3 innings and then all of a sudden loses it on a consistent basis.
And that just doesn't happen, that statistical line.
Might happen once or twice, but not in a season's worth. 12 starts worth so far this year.
Two balls, 2 strikes for Andrelton. He struck out in the Braves' first. To center, and there's out number 2. Simmons has struck out and flied out, and Ciarte handled that can of corn with ease, and that'll bring up Freddie Freeman, bounced into a force play back in the Braves' first. Odd to see Freeman hitting under 300. Even more odd to see him hitting under 290. That's where he is now. At 289 for the season.
Good slider. 2-0 pitch. He's got a couple of different sliders. That was the slower variety. It has a little bit of a loop in it, but he's also got a hard one that he would try to bury down and in to Freddie.
From 2-0, now it's 2-2.
Backed it up by doing it again. Threw it to a perfect spot. Try to bust him in this time.
And Freeman scorched that ball toward left center, and Inciarte is there. And that will retire the side. 3 up, 3 down in the inlet to third, down a run. Here at Chase Field, the swimming pool out in right center field. First man to hit a home run into the swimming pool was Mark Grace. Place to watch a ball game. Hall of Famer Greg Maddox bobblehead nights coming up on Tuesday, June 17th. That's presented by our friends at Delta Airlines. The first 20,000 fans get to take home this one-of-a-kind souvenir. Get your tickets today at braves.com/tickets or by phone at 800-745-3000. That pool became a subject of controversy in the National League West, you'll recall, last year when the Los Angeles Dodgers clinched. They climbed into the pool, and the Diamondbacks were not real happy about that. As Ender Inciarte leads off the home third.
Yeah, I can understand that. They'd already had their celebration in the clubhouse. And did their thing in there, and then everybody came running out and ran out and jumped the pool.
Joe mentioned the high accolades for Ender Inciarte in the Diamondbacks minor leagues. This ball's skied toward left. Upton in a couple of steps. And he'll make the play for round number 1. That's 7 straight retired by TEHERAN after the Gregorius leadoff homer. Now McCarthy hits. He's 2 for 22 at the plate.
Number 32, Brandon McCarthy.
He's a big man. 6'7", big strike zone. 200 pounds. There's Brandon McCarthy. And this ball is tapped back to TEHERAN, who makes the play for the second out. And here's the villain, Didi Gregorius. His first home at bat turned into his second home run.
Target was inside, but did stay up and right out over the middle of the plate.
And 7 homers homers last year. That was his first full major league season with Arizona. As I mentioned, he was originally a Red, got to the big leagues with Cincinnati in 2012.
He's hit 2 homers in 11 at bats since he got called up.
Ball too low. 2 balls, no strikes. Up and away, 3-0. Gerardo, Parra's on deck for Arizona. They have 1 hit, but they lead 1-0. And fast man's aboard with a 2-out walk.
Walked 1 in his last start against Miami. 7 1/3 innings.
Right fielder, PARRA.
Parra's a hot hitter. He's hit safely in 11 of his last 12 games. And has 13 hits over his last 8. Put this guy on, not with Goldschmidt waiting on deck.
Well, he's a free swinger. Wants to put the ball in play. Only Goldschmidt has struck out more than Parra on their club.
Sudden the plate jumping around for TEHERAN. 2 balls, no strikes. Runner goes. And the pitch fouled straight back. This is game number 63 of the season for the Diamondbacks, but only the 9th time PARRA has hit second for them. I would imagine, Joe, those high strikeout totals are the reason why.
Right. But, I mean, just like they're 2-0. He's oblivious to a runner. He is cutting it loose.
Bouncing ball toward La Stella at second, and the throw to first is in time. Nothing doing in the Arizona third. Fasten your seatbelts. We go to the exciting 4th inning for McCarthy, who leads by a run. Pause for a moment. This is a somber day for all Americans. 70 years ago today, the D-Day invasion took place when Allied forces began the liberation of the European continent. And tonight before the game, the Diamondbacks brought out a true living legend to sing the national anthem. As Justin Upton leads off the fourth inning and bounces one just foul at third. Lou Campbell, a 94-year-old veteran, a veteran of the D-Day invasion, Omaha Beach, part of George Patton's invasion of North Africa, part of the liberation of Sicily, part of Patton's army who fought his way through France and Holland and Belgium.
And the home of the brave.
Got tonight's game off to an incredible start.
He's just amazing. What a voice. And at age 94, he required no assistance to get around the ballpark and walking up down the concourses, people saluting and applauding, shaking his hand. Quite a man.
Pop fly down the right field line. That's headed out of play, foul.
I mean, he was in the midst of everything over there. Battle of the Bulge was part of it too. I was watching and reading some stuff today about the D-Day invasion and reading some quotes from Dwight Eisenhower. We lost 4,400 troops that first day. In the invasion. That's absolutely, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it in terms of the sadness and the courage that it took for those guys to come charging out of those amphibious vessels. Man.
16, 17, 18-year-old kids. I mean, that's even more amazing. And so again, 70 years have passed, and we are so thankful for those who made it home, and honor and remember and are forever grateful for those who didn't. Evan Gattis is the Braves hitter. McCarthy got the first out here in the fourth inning, a swinging strikeout. And now a line drive toward left. And an odd route taken out there by Peralta. And Gattis is on his way to second, and that's where he'll stop with one out.
You know what? We were just talking about Evan Gattis at home and about how his ball stays in the air longer than most, travels farther than most. And this is a case where this kid in left field took a route for what he thought was a sinking line drive, more or less, and then realized, no, that's different. Completely fooled by an Evan Gattis line drive, and then they juggled it around, but fortunately for them, it was Gattis running.
So the Braves have 4 hits. That's their first extra base hit of the night. And the tying run aboard for Chris Johnson, who bounced out to Martin Prado his first time up. At the knees, a strike. To the left side, Gregorius might have Gattis in a rundown, and they do. Where was Evan going? A 6-4 put out of Evan Gattis at second base, and now 2 are out.
He took 2 steps he shouldn't have taken. You got to make sure that ball goes through. And an easy out. That base running and one that got the attention of his manager.
So Chris Johnson at first, Tommy La Stella in the box. Braves now have gone 18 innings and 2/3 without a run. Johnson's running and La Stella skies one foul. Out of play, even count. Trying to try to jumpstart the offense here. The guy that makes solid contact, La Stella. 23 at bats now for La Stella in the big leagues. He's punched out only once.
Pretty funny sequence there just for a second after Chris Johnson ran to second. The ball was fouled off as he turned around to go back to first. Took his gum out of his mouth and flipped it right over where Aaron Hill plays. Hill turned around, started to walk back to his position, looked down, saw it, looked at Chris Johnson, then used his glove to flip it into the outfield. Old teammates.
2 balls and a strike. Again, the runner goes, and a foul ball at the plate. Stella bounced that ball off his foot, ankle, shin, and dropped the bat in the process. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Gregorius at short, moving toward the bag, gloves it, and steps on the pillow to retire the side. Braves got a 1-out double, but a base running mistake runs him out of the top of the 4th inning. outstanding offensive and defensive first baseman. Paul Goldschmidt, Freddie Freeman squaring off for the first 3 times here in 2014, and that's our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot.
Freddie's got the edge in average and on base percentage with Goldschmidt for that superpower of his, more home runs and more RBIs. Good players both.
First baseman, Paul Goldschmidt.
And Goldschmidt will go to work here in the 4th inning. He struck out his first time up. And the first pitch swing is popped up right side. Estella will make the play. 1 pitch. 1 out. Tehran will take a couple more of those. Here's Martin. PRADO flat out to enter first.
Of course, like the 3 outfielders, Martin from Venezuela too.
Played for Team Venezuela in the World Baseball Classic in 2013. And had a career RBI year last year, 82 of them, with 14 homers and a .282 batting average with the Diamondbacks. What they loved about him is what the Braves loved about PRADO. He can play all over the place. Most of his time was at third base, but he played 32 games at second, 30 games in left field, and 1 at shortstop.
And he wants to play every day.
Two balls and a strike with 1 out in the 4th. And Simmons at short. Team was reaching, and he's out number 2.
Hey, while we got a second, I want to get well wishes to Braves team internist Dr. Brooks Lyde, who's on the mend back in Atlanta. Had a bad run in with a pothole on his bicycle. And Doc, hope you're feeling better and get well soon.
Hill, the hitter, he flat out to left. That started the D-backs second. So now the game for Tehran at the interesting phase. He's through the first 30 pitches. Everything looking a little crisper. He's retired 11 of the last 12. But the first hitter of the game has him behind 1-0.
Would not appear that he's having any trouble with the grip. Of his slow breaking ball, the one he just threw to Aaron Hill there. If you overdo it, you get guys looking for it, and he doesn't throw it that much, and it's very effective as a result. Judicious.
I don't know what that means.
I'll break it down for you later.
But it sounds really good.
Breaking down.
2 balls, 2 strikes. For Aaron Hill, base is empty, 2 out. And skied into center. Jordan SCHAFER will gallop back a few steps, and he will put the squeeze on that. 3 up, 3 down for Tehran in the 4th. Time for the Braves bats to go to work. They're down a run. Fifth, Schaefer, TEHERAN, and Jason Heyward. McCarthy has gone 4 scoreless innings tonight. He's got 5 strikeouts. He's scattered 4 hits. Braves have left 4 men on base. And Schaefer inside the third base bag fair. And he's on his way to second base. A leadoff double for Jordan Schaefer, who's 2 for 2 tonight.
His first hit he took the other way, found the hole on the left side. This one, a sinker, let it travel. And with Martin PRADO playing in, it's almost like he was trying to do that, try to go the other way. And with Martin playing in close to take away the bunt, obviously no chance to get that, whether he's playing in or out or back.
So a golden chance for TEHERAN to help himself with a bunt. He's done a good job with the sacrifice this year. This one's bounced foul, and he's down a strike. Julio this year has 5 sacrifice bunts. Far and away most on the club. He has 5 of the team's 18. Breaking ball, 0-2.
That was a good call. It wasn't a good location, but that was a good call for a slider, since he's trying to bunt the ball to third base and make Martin field it. If they had thrown it away, it would have been that much harder to reach out, get it, and drop it down the third baseline.
TEHERAN takes a call, third strike. So he's unable to take himself. Was it on the offer or was it the call? I thought he got the bat back. We might have to take a look. Either way, it's a strikeout, the 6th of the game. He swiped at it.
Yeah.
I saw the bat coming back, but clearly it was on the wave at the ball. So 6 strikeouts, 1 out. Here's Heyward. Jason's 1 for 2. Strike 1. Jason extended his hitting streak to 10 games with a first inning single to right. See if he can chase home Schaefer here and tie it up. 1-1. Long way the other way. Heyward has hit a long home run. Jason Heyward's hitting it to all fields, and a long 2-run homer has turned the game to the Braves' favor. It's a 2-1 score.
That helps cover up the inability of TEHERAN to get the runner over in a big way. High fastball, and you know that's a pitch that early in the season Jason was still trying to use the top hand and roll to right field, and he just smoked it the other way. Impossible to defend if he's using the whole field. Man, is he hot.
So it's 2-1 Atlanta. Simmons a bouncing ball to short. Gregorius, long throw, and in time for the second out. Well, we talked about it 2 innings ago. The entire Braves ball club for the last 3 weeks has noticeably been able to hit the ball the other way. And it paid off for Heyward with his 6th homer. McCarthy surrenders his 12th and the lead. And the first run for the Braves in 20 innings.
It's funny, we were talking about McCarthy and his struggles in the middle innings especially, and that he might throw too many strikes. Well, that wasn't a strike. He got burned on a pitch that was up and out of the zone.
So 2-1 Braves here in the 5th. As Hayward continues to sizzle out of the leadoff spot. And inside for Freddie, 2 balls and a strike.
That's a cutter he uses. I don't know if we even talked about that, but that was a good cutter that had a lot of bite on it. Made him think about inside with that cutter in. It moved him back, and then good pitch outer third. Freddie was thinking inside again.
Justin Upton waits on deck. And Freeman's down swinging. 7 strikeouts for McCarthy, but Jason Heyward hit a long home run to straightaway left field. His 6th long ball of the season. And just like that, Julio Teheran's mistake to a 1-run lead. It's 2-1 Braves. And the way the runs have scored is pretty much the way the Braves and Diamondbacks have done it all year. We'll see why on our Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Atlanta, 43% of their runs have come from home runs. That's the highest rate in the National League. And for the Diamondbacks, the 4th highest percentage of runs allowed have come by way of home runs against their pitchers. So that worked out to be a good combination there for the Braves in the top of the 5th.
So as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, Julio Teheran's allowed 1 hit tonight. He only allowed 2 Arizona base runners, and both of them are Didi Gregorius. He's homered and walked. And barring a big inning, he won't have to worry about Gregorius until the 6th inning, where he'll have Peralta, OOSEWISCH, and Inciarte coming up for the Diamondbacks. Peralta bounced out to Andrelton Simmons in the middle of the 2nd. And in for a called strike.
Peralta had some good numbers working in AA at Mobile. 297, 6 homers, 46 RBIs already in AA. His team was in Chattanooga at the time he got called up. Flew from Chattanooga down to Atlanta, then across to Phoenix. Played that night, got 2 hits.
That ball's hammered toward right. And Hayward's going to have to play that one. Well, he won't be able to. It's going to skip off the top of the fence. And that'll be a 2-base hit for David Peralta.
Something down and in that he dropped the barrel on. Slider, but it had too much of the plate. And you can see the reaction from Julio. Already 3 doubles.
So OOSEWISCH will try to move him over. He's the 7th place hitter and the Arizona catcher. Chris Johnson made a good play on him to end the 2nd. And now Teheran and Gaddis will make sure they have the right signs with a runner at 2nd and nobody out. Miami lost to the Cubs in 13, 5-3 today at Wrigley Field. Phillies shut out Cincinnati 8-0. Washington's beating San Diego 2-0 in the 4th.
Pittsburgh put a whooping on Milwaukee, didn't they?
Hauser. 15-6. The Pirates beat up on the Brew Crew today at PNC Park. And a strike to the Arizona catcher. Kyle Loesch started that game for Milwaukee. He was going for his 8th consecutive win today. Does it look like that happened? Oh,
I wouldn't think so, no.
Into the upper deck foul. It's 0-2.
Be smart here. You know he's trying to get the runner over. You're ahead in the count. See if he'll chase.
Popped up. Foul ground. Freeman, plenty of room. And OOSEWISCH cannot move Peralta up 90 feet. There's out number 1.
Slider worked just fine.
So Inciarte, the batter, he flied out to left back in inning number 3. We're so spoiled when you see Teheran pitch every 5th day. I don't want to say you take him for granted, but oftentimes we don't take a look at him in context of what he's doing in comparison to the rest of the National League's best pitchers. Teheran 3rd in the league in ERA coming in. 2nd in home ERA. 3rd in the league in innings pitched. No strikes for Inciarte. And that just missed. 2 balls, no strikes. You saw the big 3 in their heyday with Atlanta. This guy's going into an ace before our very eyes, isn't he?
Yeah, the only guy that has more quality starts is Tanaka with the Yankees. He's a perfect, I think, 13 for 13.
Swing and a miss. Teheran's got 11 quality starts. The one blemish for him was that game we've talked about out in San Francisco.
Right.
Economical, just 60 pitches so far. And a 2-1 lead with the bottom part of the Arizona lineup up. Now 2-2.
This was smart on the part of Julio and Gaddis in that they fell behind 2-0. They got first base open, the pitcher up next, but there's only one out. And this guy's hitting $190. He hasn't been in the big leagues that long, 60-some at bats. You got a chance here to get out of this inning and pitch around the double, leadoff double, if you can get the number 8 hitter and the number 9 guy. So they've come back from a 2-0 count to Inciarte to throw 2 good pitches to get swings and misses. Now it's a matter of putting him away or getting an out before the pitcher gets up there. Oh, Julio, you just talked to him. Evan was nodding like we already talked about this. Now I got to give you the sign again.
Back to the screen foul. It's still 2-2. Yeah, the meeting with Gaddis and Tehran was a very long meeting.
You had to assume that it was about either a setup pitch and then a put away pitch, or at least the next pitch and what they were going to do. And Julio still wanted a sign for it, which surprised Evan.
Did he go? Yes, he did. And the throw to first takes care of Inciarte for out number 2. Now the runners at second, 2 outs, and McCarthy will be the Arizona hitter.
Just his 3rd strikeout, his first one since the first inning, but boy, did it come at a good time. Got him to chase on a ball in the dirt, good breaking ball, and a nice stop by Gaddis to keep in front of him and get the out. Now get the pitcher and get to the dugout.
The ground out by McCarthy was to Julio Tehran. That was in the Arizona 3rd. 2-1 ball game, bottom of the 5th. Strike 1. Peralta doubled to start the inning. OOSEWISCH popped out. Inciarte struck out. And now a base hit to left by McCarthy. Here comes Peralta around 3rd. The throw to the plate will be late. And Arizona has tied the game 2-2 on a single by Brandon McCarthy.
That wasn't part of the plan for his career RBI. And it was also not where he wanted him to throw it. Wanted it kind of as a backdoor, a breaking ball away from him to the outside corner, I should say. And it hung up right in the middle of the plate.
So Arizona's tied the game at 2 here in the 5th, and Gregorius the batter. He's homered and walked. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Arizona did get the big inning. They do get to bring Gregorius to the plate. McCarthy helps himself. Didi went around. He didn't like the call. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tehran about to make his 19th pitch of the inning. Now 2-2. Missed that ball by a foot. 4 strikeouts for Tehran, but a hit by Brandon McCarthy earns him his first big league RBI and a 2-2 tie.
Of the Atlanta Braves and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves.
New game after 5. It's 2-2. Braves and Diamondbacks here in Game 1 in Phoenix. While we have a moment, let's check out tonight's AT&T Uverse trivia question. Martin Prado is one of 2 players all time to record 150 or more hits in a season with the Braves and the Diamondbacks. Name the other player to have a 150 hit season for each team.
Maybe the guy that's about to lead off the inning.
That would be Justin Upton. Tehran hopes for a little more offense tonight. 2-2 game. Upton, Gaddis, and Johnson up in the 6th. McCarthy gave up a 2-run homer to Jason Hayward last inning, but tied it with a hit of his own. One ball, 1 strike. Caught a corner. This time of year always a special time for Justin Upton. You recall in 2005 he was the #1 overall pick in the draft by these Arizona Diamondbacks. But he's had a rough night tonight. He has struck out 3 times. And there's out #1.
Not all of McCarthy's starts this year have been dreadful. He had one start on May 14th against Washington. He went 8 innings and gave up 1 run. No walks, 7 strikeouts, and got beat. His one win of the year was 7 innings, a 3-hit shutout ball against San Diego. Struck out 6.
Gaddis to short. Gregorius with a good arm. Quickly 2 out.
Third baseman Chris Johnson.
Braves as a club averaging almost 9 strikeouts per game. They've got 8 with 2 outs in the 6th inning. Here's Chris Johnson. Chris 0 for 2. Well, you got to think the hit by McCarthy will give him some pep in his step in their offense too, huh?
You know that. Feels like he's got a new start.
And he has been sitting 92 to 94 with that fastball all night.
And it's got some life. If he goes 2-seamer, he's got some backup action on it to the outside corner to right-handers.
There's a sharp hit ball by Chris Johnson.
That was pretty. Just thinking, I was just looking at McCarthy's long arm action, and then he delivers this one right to the center of the plate for Chris, who stayed on it, kept his head down. Watch his head. Watch Chris's head. Hardly moved at all. And roped it.
7 hits for the Braves tonight. Listella has one of them. His came in the 2nd inning. He also bounced into a force play that ended the Braves' 4th. 2-2 score. And a strike.
Chris Johnson was running a couple of times while he was at the plate back in the 4th inning. Fouled him off each time he was running. Must have been what old Tuffy was thinking about there too. It was almost a pitch out. Local product. Tuffy OOSEWISCH also went to Arizona State.
Good breaking ball. Tommy took it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's been very consistent with his pitch counts. And a long second, but stranded a pair of Braves. The pitch is out of play, foul.
Estella really trusts his hands. You know, that quiet stance and the bat on his shoulder. Lets the ball travel deep in the zone and trusts his hands to get the bat through. Very little in the way of lower half action. And his lower body very upright, very relaxed.
Look at that bat flip toward left.
Down and away, breaking ball, back door. Would have been a called third strike more than likely. And he spoiled it.
It's another multi-hit game for La Stella. And that'll bring up Jordan Schaefer, who's been terrific, hitting 8th tonight. Jordan's 2 for 2. And scored ahead of Hayward's 5th inning homer. Broken bat over the mound. Hill fields, fires to first, and got his man. The bat was shattered, and the Braves' hearts were broken in the 6th as well. Tie game 2 apiece. Six innings. He's allowed just 2 runs to the Braves tonight. Julio Teheran has allowed 2 as well for the Braves. We invite you to get your tickets now to see Freddie Freeman and the Braves take on Mike Trout and the Angels June 13th through the 15th. Spend Father's Day weekend with the Braves. Don't miss Friday night fireworks, and kids and dads can run the bases on Sundays. Visit Braves.com/tickets. And while Teheran continues to ready for the 6th inning, it's time for you to tweet your photo using #SouthFanPhoto. It's your chance to have your photo shown in an upcoming broadcast. That's brought to you by AT&T. 2 runs, 8 hits for the Braves. 2 runs, only 3 hits for Arizona. But the 3rd hit, painful. It was by McCarthy, and it drove in his first big league run to tie the game up. So now Teheran's got to go through the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Diamondbacks. Parra, Goldschmidt, and Martin Prado.
Yeah, tough inning here. You see Chris Johnson in even with the bag, even maybe a little inside the bag. Parra kind of looked out under his bill of his cap when he was adjusting his gloves to see where Chris was playing, thinking about pushing a bunt.
That's out of play to the left. 2 balls and a strike. What a difference good pitching can make when facing anybody's offense. The Diamondbacks coming off a record-setting 3-game sweep of the Rockies up at Coors Field. Swing and a miss. In Denver, they hit .412, had 49 hits, 7 homers, and scored 32 runs in 3 games. Tonight, they've got 2 runs on 3 hits.
Last 2 games, they had 40 hits out of that number.
Crazy, isn't it?
28 runs and 40 hits in the last 2. And had a leadoff homer tonight.
Now he's gone full to PARRA. As Joe said, likes to swing the bat. Got away with one up by the letters, and PARRA missed it.
Took a little off. Probably ball 4. PARRA's not that tall. It was up, and he still swung at it. Again, he is very aggressive and sometimes gets himself out.
So Tehran off to a good start. Now he's got to face Goldschmidt. Ball has struck out and popped out. Told you that Paul finished second in the MVP balloting last year. He's going to get some votes this year again. Top 10 in average, second in RBIs, tied for first in multi-hit games, second in runs, first in hits.
Big, strong guy out of Texas State University.
He was thinking homer and didn't get it. 2-2.
Second in runs too. I mean, he's getting on base a lot, as evidenced by his 75 hits, but he's coming around to score a lot.
That's well hit toward right, but Hayward is going to get there in front of the pool. And Goldschmidt is retired. He's 0 for 3, 2 outs.
He had cooled off a little bit, but going to Coors Field, even though for some unknown reason he wasn't playing Tuesday, in the 2 games he did play there, he went 5 for 10. So it kind of got him back on track and included a homer.
Base is empty for Martin PRADO. Knees outside corner, good pitch. Tehran will lead off the Braves 7th. Work to do still here in the home 6th, however.
You mentioned Martin kind of forced into action in the cleanup spot to try to protect Goldschmidt, and that was supposed to be Mark Trumbo's job when they got him over from the Angels, and he has hit 7 homers, but hitting just .210, and now on the disabled list. Next guy in line for that might be, we might see tomorrow night, Miguel Montero. He's hit 7 homers, hitting .276, and a left-handed hitter.
Shallow center. SCHAFER broke back. Now comes charging in and can't get there. PRADO's aboard with 2 outs.
Even Justin Upton was close on that because from his angle, he could see that it wasn't hit deep. You can see on that angle right there, perfect camera angle on Jordan breaking back on for a center field. The ball goes up and it's hard to detect your depth perception if it's high and deep or high and shallow. He misjudged it, it drops. And Justin Upton could see it, and he was on the run trying to get there to help out.
So the inning stays alive for Aaron Hill, who's flied to left and has flied to center. Injuries have really sidetracked Hill with the Arizona Ball Club. 87 games last season. He broke his hand on April 9th against the Pirates last year. And there's a huge break. Teheran's pickoff play ricocheted off a couple of guys over at first base. Otherwise, that would have been down the line, and PRADO would have been in scoring position.
He might have been at third base. That's Mark Wegner, the first base umpire, and it nailed him right in the leg. I mean, solid, and saved an error.
But beware of this guy, Aaron Hill. He's an all-star. Bullet foul past third has him behind 0-2. He entered this season with the third highest total of home runs as a second baseman in the game since 2009.
He's always been a good offensive middle infielder. Spent a lot of years with Toronto.
Dan Uggla leads that trio. Robbie Cano now of Seattle second, with Aaron Hill in third place.
They signed him to a deal similar to the one they gave PRADO. 4-year deal for about $44 million.
He's under contract through the end of the 2016 season. He was on his way to stardom in Toronto when his career got sidetracked in 2008. He had concussion problems. Played just 55 games that year. But in 2009 was the comeback player of the year in the American League with 36 homers. And a swing and a miss takes care of Hill, and the Diamondbacks in the 6th. On we go to the 7th. Teheran will lead things off. We're tied 2 apiece. 6 here in Phoenix. And Julio Teheran's ready to go to work for the Braves.
Hey, what this ground crew here, they need to get some videotape and watch the Atlanta Braves ground crew. That group's not going to set any land speed records over there. Had to hold the game up, waiting for him to get off the field.
Teheran ready to go, and McCarthy delivers low. 1 ball, no strikes. This has to be a hugely encouraging start for Arizona and their starter tonight. They have had a miserable time of it all year long in rotation. And McCarthy this evening, 8 strikeouts, 2 runs allowed over 6 innings of work.
He had a 12 strikeout game against the Phillies in 7 innings and lost that one. Lost that one 2-0. Gave up 2 runs in 7 innings. Like I said, they haven't all been dogs, but his last 2 have been horrible. 13 innings, 18 hits, 10 runs coming into tonight.
And now he's gone 3-1 to the Braves pitcher. All help will be accepted. And Arizona's pen will begin to work as McCarthy readies for his 95th pitch.
That was beaten 3-1. Huh.
Swing and a miss. Teheran is down. And that is strikeout number 9 for McCarthy. Hope you'll join us again tomorrow night. Game 2 of the series here in Phoenix. The Braves meet the Diamondbacks once again here at Chase Field. Irvin Santana, Wade Miley, the featured pitchers. Join us beginning at 9:30 Eastern Time for Braves Live.
Half hour later tomorrow.
Hayward's had a big game tonight. He's singled and he's homered.
Oh, is that a good pitch?
Joe Thatcher and Randall Delgado, the former Brave, up in the Arizona bullpen. Just missed. OOSEWISCH thought that was good enough. How close was it?
PNC pitching performance on our pitch tracks. Wide right.
Up and away. Back-to-back full counts for McCarthy here in the 7th. Anderson Simmons on deck looking for his first hit. We're tied at 2. It's back our way and into the seats. Crowd announced tonight 24,504.
Good fight off right there by Jason after all that work away. Whether they meant to or not, that ball came in on him and he was just able to fight it off.
And he lost Hayward. He kept the ball away from Jason and paid a price. A base on balls from a man who doesn't walk many.
PNC Bank pitching performance wider than the one before.
So let's see if Hayward thinks about running here or if a hit and run's in play. Good contact guy at the plate. Good speed at first. As I said, Andrelton looking for his first knock of the night. He's 0 for 3.
I've been watching Tuffy throw the ball down to second base between innings, and he airs it out. He's got a good arm. If he gets a good pitch to throw on, and if Jason is running, he might snap that 0 for 7. This pitcher trying to help him out by shortening Jason's lead.
Line toward left and headed for the corner. Heyman around second, on his way to third. They're going to green light him. He's around third. He's going to score without a throw. Wow, did Heyward fly around the bases on a Simmons double. It's a 3-2 game.
I mean to tell you, he was leaning into second and third. Beautiful thing to watch. Going first to home. First of all, another pretty sight here. Sinker down and in. Andrelton hooked it. And Jason hit both second and third in stride. No problem. Left field here's got some funny nooks and crannies in it. And with that young outfielder Peralta out there, he was trying to play it safe so the ball didn't bounce by him. And that gave Jason a little extra time he needed.
That's the end of the line for Brandon McCarthy. He leaves trailing 3-2 here in the 7th. Things in that just completed sequence that put the Braves in front.
Jason got on with a great at bat, and then Peralta here is trying to make sure he got the carom right, and he did, but he waited for it to hit twice to come back to him. No chance with that. Now watch him lean around third base here, hitting it in stride. Great at bat, great base running, good piece of hitting by Andrelton. Chance to get some more, but tough chance here for Freddie against a tough left-hander.
Named Joe Thatcher, who came over from the San Diego Padres. Inside corner, a called strike.
Low walks, high strikeouts.
Opponent scoreless in 9 of his last 10 outings.
Left-handers are hitting him 250 though, 10 for 40.
What makes him so tough, he does not allow many inherited runners to score. First the 0-1 pitch to Freeman is back to the screen, foul. Since 2007, Joe Thatcher is the third most effective reliever in allowing the fewest inherited runners to score. Only 19.7% have scored after he's come on in relief.
I believe that, and I believe it because he comes into, he's a left-handed specialist. He's so tough on lefties normally. If he only has to come in and get one out, then that adds up pretty fast for him. But I mean, when his right foot lands, it's not even pointed anywhere near home plate. It's really kind of pointed toward the Atlanta dugout on the first base side. He throws across his body, that's pretty evident, but where he steps is amazing that he doesn't roll his ankle.
Well, you're right.
2 pitches ago, that one looked like he got his toe turned a little bit, but 2 pitches ago it's like he just blocked it.
Even count for Freeman. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And he's down on strikes.
And as suggested, this will be the only hitter he faces. Right foot going way over toward the Atlanta pin and having to throw around it.
So 10 Braves have been struck out by the Diamondbacks tonight, and now Randall Delgado will come on and pitch.
The Arizona Diamondbacks Foundation and Paul Goldschmidt have teamed up to launch
was presented by the Georgia Lottery and Toyota.
Atlanta leads game 1 of the series 3-2 here in the 7th, and more fun to follow. Our Chevron pitching matchup for game 2 features Irvin Santana for the Braves.
Be nice to get Irvin back on track, pitching like he was. I know he's changed his hairstyle. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, he'll go against Wade Miley, the left-hander, but yeah, changed his luck a little bit.
You know, when you talk about hairstyles, that's piqued my interest. So
it's right down my alley.
We'll be all over that tomorrow night in game 2. Here's a fun matchup. 2 men traded for each other, squaring off this evening. Justin Upton for the Braves and Randall Delgado.
Same old Randall. Strikeout an inning, a lot of walks, but a high ERA. Throws hard, still throws 94-95, but a very straight fastball. And maybe he'll make a mistake with it here to Justin.
Little insurance would be nice. Braves up 3-2. And that's low and away. Rough go of it lately for Randall Delgado. Last 4 relief appearances, he's allowed 7 earned runs. High fly ball toward right. PARRA back, track, wall, and room. He's got it. Upton just missed. The Braves, though, take a lead on an RBI double by Simmons. We're at the stretch in Phoenix. Game in the desert tonight. TEHERAN has outdueled Brandon McCarthy to this point. Simmons and Hayward have had a good run, hitting first and second tonight for the Braves. And as we said, Jen, a moment ago, little things in close games mean a lot. How about the speed of Jason Hayward to score the go-ahead run?
Yeah, just one of the things Jason's doing right now that makes him fun to watch. And you know, Chip, I talked to him earlier this year, asked him about speed and who is the fastest on the team. It's always a great debate, right? And he said, well, the Uptons and SCHAFER, they're fast. He said, but when it comes to game speed, I'm pretty fast. I think we just saw a good example of that. I asked if they'd ever have a race, and he said, no, I don't really run any more than I have to. I only run when it counts. It certainly counted that time around.
You know what? That's a good point, Jen. The game speed and knowing how to cut the corners and run the bases. He may well be the fastest guy from first to home.
I was thinking during break who ran the bases like that. Larry Walker's the first guy that came to mind. Larry wasn't a fast guy, but I thought he was a quick guy because of the way he was able to cut the bags. And man, was that beautiful watching Jason do that in the top of this seventh inning. So David Peralta goes to work for Arizona and grounds one through the right side for a leadoff hit. So he represents the tying run. The Braves bullpen has begun to work as TEHERAN has to go back to the stretch here.
He's had to work really hard tonight. He's thrown 90 pitches, but it seems like it has been a struggle and a battle for him all night long. He had a perfect inning in the second. He had a perfect inning in the fourth. Otherwise, he has had to deal out of the stretch, pitch around 2 out hits, and now a leadoff single.
Let's see how Arizona plays it here with TUFFY OOSEWISCH, the catcher. Mile high pop up. Chris Johnson in foul ground is going to make the play. And OOSEWISCH is retired for out number 1.
Big out. It's Alex Wood getting ready if needed. That's a big out because you got a chance late in the lower part of the order to maybe try something if you're Kirk Gibson, maybe a hit and run, but not likely now with the pitcher spot on deck.
Ender Inciarte is the batter. He is flat out and struck out. fly ball well hit center. SCHAFER on the run at the warning track is going to get there. Inciarte hit the daylights out of that ball, but he's out number 2.
A lot of room to run around out there. This time it wasn't popped up in front of him. It was blasted over his head and slicing a little bit. So SCHAFER went back, picked the ball back up, had to make an adjustment. Nice play.
Randall Delgado will be taken down for Eric Chavez, who come on and pinch hit. And Roger McDowell out quickly for some advice for Julio Teheran.
Not a bad idea against this veteran left-handed hitter. 3 homers, 8 RBIs. One of them is a pinch hitter. 3 for 22 is a pinch hitter. Boy, a bad back. And I mean a really bad back when he was with Oakland. Cut into some excellent career numbers that he was building. So a little scouting report.
He's only played 15 career games against the Braves, so you can understand why Roger McDowell wants to talk about how to handle Chavez.
So that kind of damage.
"15 major league seasons for the 36-year-old Diamondback. 6-time Gold Glove winner in the American League. Now a veteran presence off the bench.
How many career hits coming into the season?
Career hits for Chavez, 1,460 in 1,571 games. But to your point about injuries, in 2005 he played 160 games. He never played more than 137 after that in the big leagues.
Two good back-to-back pitches, 84, 86. Chavez sitting on that heater, hasn't gotten it. Back foot slider, won it in.
He got it there, and Chavez is retired. Julio Teheran with a huge sequence struck out Chavez, and Arizona wastes a leadoff hit in the 7th inning. We go to the 8th, still 3-2 Atlanta.
The Atlanta Braves select Braxton Davidson, an outfielder from T.C. Roberson High School, Asheville, North Carolina.
Draft day yesterday began. That's our SunTrust shining moment. Take a good look at the latest #1 draft selection by the Atlanta Braves.
Hey, I heard Harold Reynolds say last night after the Braves took him that he thought he was the second best hitting prospect in the draft, next to the kid from Sprayberry High School that the Red Sox took just a couple of picks in front of Atlanta. He's a big guy. He's actually dropped about 20 pounds. Said he and his dad really decided to work at it to get in shape, work on his swing, maybe use the whole field. But a tremendous bat and a lot of power.
So congratulations to all the draft selections by the Atlanta Braves, as Evan Marshall takes over for the Diamondbacks in the 8th inning. This guy broke in with a bang, didn't allow a run, an earned run I should say, in his first 8 outings, the 5th best streak by a Diamondbacks reliever ever to begin his big league career. He was called up from AAA May 6th and won his major league debut as Doug DeCenzo hits the turf on a line drive off the bat of Gaddis, and the count now 0-2. Owens, our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard subject. He's riding a hot streak at the plate for the Braves too.
His double in the 4th inning extended it to 8 games. Josh Harrison, he's been doing a good job for the Pirates. You know, he's been kind of a utility guy for them for a couple of years, and he's beginning to take off.
That's way high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gaddis is going to be thrown out at first on a strikeout. 1 up, 1 down in the Atlanta 8th. Hey, if you need a gift for your father on Father's Day, the MLB.com at-bat app and a subscription to its premium features on his favorite smartphone or tablet are perfect gifts. Dan will also have access to features like live look-ins, instant replay, live audio, free MLB.TV games of the day, and a whole lot more. For more details, visit MLB.com. One ball, no strikes for Chris Johnson. That evens the count. He's facing Evan Marshall, 6'2", 220 out of Kansas State. Baseball America said he was the 16th best prospect in the Arizona organization coming into play this season. Has been born and raised a relief pitcher. Closed a lot of games in the minor leagues. 25 career saves coming into play this year.
There's some good action on that pitch. Change up. Might have been a split. Really went down.
In the air to right. PARRA near the line is going to catch it. Chris is retired for out number 2. And Tommy LaStella will be the batter. He's had another good night at the plate. 2 for 3, both hits singles.
Second baseman Tommy LaStella.
You know, I'd be remiss if I didn't. We were talking about Mr. Campbell earlier, the 94-year-old World War II veteran who sang the national anthem. I have a soon-to-be 92-year-old father-in-law who's also a World War II veteran, and Flew reconnaissance flights off the USS Montpelier. He would fly out, check out what was going on.
Gregorius at short.
Land in the ocean, and then they'd get a crane to pick him up out of the ocean and put him back on the boat. So Horace again got to pay homage to his World War II service too.
Enter now for a chance to win round-trip airfare anywhere Delta flies in the continental United States. 2-night hotel accommodations and $250 spending cash. Enter on your mobile devices or computer at foxsports.com/south/Delta. Good luck. A couple of changes for the Braves. It's Ramiro Pena. He'll check into play second for the Braves. And left-hander Alex Wood will relieve Julio Teheran, who went 7 innings of 2-run ball against the Diamondbacks tonight.
Alex Wood's 17th appearance had gotten his record back to 500. Boy, he'd had to fight to do that just in his work in the bullpen, but took the loss against Seattle a couple of days ago. 2 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, a couple of strikeouts.
So all kinds of managerial moves in play here. Gregorius will be taken down, and Chris Owings is going to come on. He's been one of the hottest hitters on this Diamondbacks club. Last 7 games hitting .444, and overall for the year hitting .352 at home.
And like I said at the beginning, good day to pitch. He wasn't playing, neither was Montero. Both hot hitters.
Out of play foul by Owings. It's 0-2. Here's a real statistical oddity that they have in the press notes. Chris Owings is the only Diamondbacks rookie to fall a single shy of the cycle, not once, but twice in a season. He got the double, the triple, and the homer, but not the single. June 3rd against the Rockies, May 17th against the Dodgers. There's only one other Diamondback rookie that's ever done what Owings has done twice this year. Justin Upton had that happen to him in August of 2007 against the Pirates.
This guy's also from our neck of the woods, isn't he?
No balls, 2 strikes.
Charleston, South Carolina. Lives in Gilbert, South Carolina.
Is he Micah Owings' brother?
No.
Because he could hit too.
Yes, he could. He's going to play at the University of South Carolina before the Diamondbacks signed him. Got him in the supplemental first round.
Swing and a miss. Wood got him. And a good start to the bottom of the 8th inning. 1 up, 1 down.
Right fielder, GERARDO, PARRA.
Here's Parra. He's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. He tried to bunt and fouled it straight back.
There's that look again under the bill of his cap to see where Chris was playing. Scuffling a little bit against left-handed pitching too. 9 for 54, a 167 average. Would be real nice to have Goldschmidt come out with nobody on.
TEHERAN was good tonight again. 97 pitches, 67 strikes over his 7 innings. Wood will try to keep him off the scoreboard in the 8th. Atlanta looks for a little insurance in the 9th, and then Craig Kimbrell will chase history if all goes according to that man's plan. But he just walked Gerardo Parra. So Parra's aboard in front of Goldschmidt, and Wood will not be allowed to face the big right-hand hitting Arizona first baseman. At least I don't think you will. Shea Simmons was up in the Braves bullpen. Now he's striding in from the Braves bullpen. Simmons versus Goldschmidt. That'll be fun. We'll see how it turns out after this.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Georgia Power, The Home Depot, and Blimpie, celebrating 50 years.
Well, if you like power versus power, you've got it here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Braves protecting a 3-2 lead. Paul Goldschmidt, the hitter. Shea Simmons out of the bullpen in relief of Alex Wood. And the first pitch is hit to straightaway center. And Schaefer's going to catch that for out number 2.
Paul Goldschmidt certainly got the power to challenge that yellow line out there in straightaway center, but just missed that one.
Shay's going to be exhausted. We continue on here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Before we tell you who's on to pitch, let's get back to our AT&T Universe trivia question. Martin Prado is one of 2 players with 150 or more hits as a Brave and a Diamondback. Name the other man to do that.
I don't know. I don't think it's Justin.
I'll say Reggie Sanders.
Okay.
Let's see if I or we are.
Kelly Johnson.
Kelly Johnson. Look who's on in the 8th.
Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise, except for the fact that he's only been in 2 games in the last 13 days. Since May 23rd against Colorado at home, he's pitched in 1 game at Boston and 1 game at Miami. That's it.
So he is very, very well rested. Let's see how sharp Craig will be in a 3-2 game in the 8th. Shea Simmons threw 1 pitch, got Goldschmidt. Now Kimbrel evens up the count to Prado. I think didn't like his picture on the scoreboard because they changed it. Different look. He had the goggles on earlier. Now the Ray-Bans and the zinc oxide on the nose. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the dirt. Gaddis will not attempt to throw. PARRA takes second. Now a single could score him and tie the game.
I heard the press PA guy said stolen base, but this will more than likely be changed to a wild pitch. I thought Evan was going to cut it loose, but he must not have had a good grip.
It was changed to a wild pitch. Now Prado in the driver's seat. He singled last time up. Ripped foul straight back.
And Martin upset that he's not able to handle that one. He got a pitch up and was late on it.
Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Struck him out at the knees. Kimbrel took care of Prado and puts out the fire in the 8th. Atlanta leads Arizona by a run. It's 3-2. We go to the 9th. Braves baseball is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy Drink and by AT&T, mobilizing your world. We go to the ninth. Braves 3, Arizona 2. And let's take a look at tonight's Subway in-game box score.
Big night for Jason Heyward. 2-run homer, he single leading off the ball game. He scored 2 of the Braves' 3 runs. Andrelton Simmons drove in the go-ahead run there in the 7th inning with a big double in the corner. Jordan Schaefer's had a good night too. He's got 2 hits, filling in center field. Tommy LaStella with a couple of knocks.
So changes for Arizona. Chris Owings stays in the game. He'll play shortstop. And on to pitch is Trevor Cahill. Braves looking for a little insurance, leading 3-2 with Schaefer, Pena, and Heyward coming up.
Tell you what, they've got some big relievers. Cahill's numbers pretty high, but lately he's been pretty good. Last 10 appearances, a 1.72 ERA. He's 6'4", 222. Evan Marshall 6'2", 220. Perez 6'3", 220. Addison Reed, their closer, 6'4", 220.
To the right side, off the glove of Hill, and a fast man's aboard for the Braves. Jordan Schaefer starts the ninth with an infield hit.
3 hits for him tonight. Turned that ball over trying to sink it, but it stayed up and didn't sink. Let's see what Freddie Gonzalez does here with Pena now batting in the 9 spot.
Runner goes. The pitch is strike. The throw to second is going to be late.
Had him too. Talked about Tuffy's throws during the throwdowns between innings, and they've all been right on the money, but game situation, he got in a big hurry and a short hop throw. He got a good pitch to throw on too. But when when Owings has got to come up with that short hop and his glove goes up in the air, he's got a long way to go to get the glove down for the tag. Hope Jordan didn't hurt his wrist there on that slide.
Big insurance run in scoring position for Pena now, as Schaefer steals his 5th base. Pena stabbed and missed. 0-2. Ball bounced into the Braves dugout, and Andrelton Simmons caught that too.
Anything he can get to.
Sharply hit toward first. And Goldschmidt will take it to the bag, but a good out by Pena. Productive out, moves Schaefer up to 3rd base for the top of the order. 1 out.
Nice job. Behind in the count. Still able to pull the ball. And the way Jason Heyward's going, getting that guy to 3rd base, it's almost automatic.
Now the Diamondbacks will play the infield in.
Look at his average up to 260.
Out of play to the left side. 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 RBIs for Heyward. And a
10-game hitting streak beginning tomorrow's game 2. Equally impressive as Hayward's batting average rise. He's doing what you want your leadoff man to do, and that's get on base. He's gotten on base now in 24 of his last 25 games. His on base percentage during that stretch over 40. Way outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And that's what Cahill wants right there. I mean, it was well wide of the mark. But he's trying to run that ball, that sinker, down and away from Jason so that he can't elevate it, and hopes to have him hit it on the ground to someone on a drawn-in infield. Maybe right back to the pitcher.
But it's a base hit to left for Heyward. A 3-hit, 3 RBI game, and SCHAFER scores a huge insurance run.
When you've got a guy hitting with as much confidence as Jason is right now, and he's got a pretty good idea what you're trying to do to him, good luck. Because that's what he was trying. He threw a sinker away, but it was up enough. And it may not have even been a strike because Jason's looking there, tracked it, hit a bolt to left field.
So Atlanta adds a 9th inning run, 4 runs on 11 Braves hits. So Heyward at first for Simmons, 1 out. And he shows butt. Snap throw back to first, and a close play.
Look at that pitch again to Jason. See if it's off the plate. It's running off the plate, and the way GOLDSCHMIDT was trying to go up and away with a glove, it's like a ball, but he was looking that way.
No balls and a strike for Andrelton Simmons. His RBI double broke a 2-2 tie and was the last man faced by Brandon McCarthy, tonight's Arizona starter. Balls, 1 strike. Swing and a drive hammered toward right center field. PARRA on the run. Diving grab. What a play. A remarkable catch by Gerardo PARRA.
He's a Gold Glover, you know.
Wow.
Seems like every time the Braves play the Diamondbacks, Gerardo PARRA comes up with some gem. A couple of years ago, he threw out 2 guys at third base in 1 inning. Great diving catch there. That might have saved another run. Looks like hurt a little bit on that catch.
It's only a guess, but I'm sure the only disappointing thing on that play for PARRA was he couldn't show off his arm. May have had the wind knocked out of him with that full layout. But what a remarkable play to take away a hit try for Simmons. Heyward back at first with 2 outs and Freeman in the box. And he looks outside at ball 1. There's a shot to right center field. That'll drop in for a hit. There's Hayward in high gear again. He'll go first to third with 2 outs.
Freddie Freeman needed that one. He struck out twice tonight and hadn't looked real good doing it. And he was 0 for his last 11. Sinker again, turning it over, but it was up. And Freddie, instead of going the other way, threw some top hand on it.
So Cahill, who has been one of the tougher relief pitchers for the Diamondbacks in recent outings, has been hit for a run, 3 hits so far in the 9th, and now he's got to face Justin Upton. Strike 1.
This could be a record-setting night for Craig Kimbrell. Pretty exciting. But just understand, too, it doesn't matter how many runs the Braves score now. He's already in position to get the save. So keep throwing up some crooked numbers here if you want.
Pop fly foul out of play. That's a good point, Joe. Kimbrell came on to get Martin PRADO with the tying run at second base in the bottom of the 8th inning. So the 3-run rule irrelevant here.
Irrelevant.
And maybe that was on the mind of Freddie Gonzalez too. Don't know until after the ball game. No balls, 2 strikes for Upton. Little fly ball, shallow right. Parra's coming on, can't get there. The ball's behind him. Hayward scores. Freeman to third. A blue pit for Justin Upton, and the Braves extend their lead now to 5-2.
Justin deserved that one. Remember, he backed up Parra to the fence his last time up with a guy on base, almost hit it out. This time on a slider, just a half swing poke. Parra can't come in quick enough to get that one.
Joe, the Braves have 4 hits in the inning. I think only one of them was on a strike.
You're right.
Amazing. So Mike Harkey, the Arizona pitching coach, quickly out for a brief word for Cahill. Now Evan Gattis can go to work. 2 runs in the 9th. 13 Braves hits. Justin Upton knocks in his 34th man. Ball 1 to the Braves catcher Evan Gattis, who doubled back in the 4th inning. If the hit parade continues, Kimbrell might be able to swing the bat. Ball 3.
No harm in trying to find a helmet that fits and talk somebody into letting you use their bat. He's got Doman's helmet on.
Just short. Owings will flip to second in time, and that'll retire the side. Cahill had a rough 9th inning. The Braves touch him for 2 runs on 4 hits, and now Craig Kimbrell will shift from batter mode to record-setting mode. It's 5-2, bottom of the 9th. Baseball on Fox Sports South is brought to you by Blimpie. Welcome back to Phoenix for the bottom of the 9th inning. Craig Kimbrell and a date with Braves history as he tries to pass John Smoltz to become the all-time franchise leader in saves.
What a mark for him at such a young age. And to be mentioned in the same breath with John Smoltz. Quite an achievement for Craig Kimbrell. Looking for number 155, and he's got a 3-run lead.
If Craig completes the save, it'll be his 3rd career save of more than 1 inning. And he's got Aaron Hill, Peralta, and OOSEWISCH coming up. And a strike.
I mean, as if he wasn't fired up enough, knowing that this could be the one to set the record. That pitch he made to PRADO, catch him looking in the bottom of the 8th. Boy, that 97 at the knees, a beauty.
I asked Gretchen to look it up because, as we said, modern day relief pitchers or closers. Did you see that PNC?
Yeah. Go ahead.
They usually go 1 inning. Greg's trying to do this for the 3rd time, go at inning plus. How many more than 1 inning saves John Smoltz had for the Braves? It was 154.
No.
35.
Oh, no kidding.
I mean, that's unheard of today.
Yeah.
So Hill now, a 2-2 pitch from Kimbrell. In the air to center. That's playable for SCHAFER, and he's got it. There's out number 1.
Yeah, but see, all the time John was closing, he was just hoping for extra innings so they could say, see, I'm ready to go back to the rotation if you need me.
That's an excellent point. 1 out. David Peralta, the batter. He's had a good night. 2 hits. He scored 1 of the 2 Arizona runs. To left and right at Upton. 2 outs.
Catcher, TUFFY.
Craig Kimbrell became the youngest pitcher to collect 150 saves when he nailed down a victory against the Cardinals May 18th. The 4th fewest in Major League history for Kimbrell. And now he's an out away from being atop the pile in the history of the Braves. And now he's a strike away.
Well, he's airing it out tonight. That was 98. Like I said, struck out PRADO on 97. He can smell it.
No balls, 2 strikes. Popped up. Simmons drifts out. He's got it. And the Braves have beaten Arizona, and Craig Kimbrell has passed John Smoltz for first place all time on the Atlanta Braves saves list. Number 155, and it comes in Phoenix, Arizona.
Every save's important, but this baseball is mightily important. And I'm sure it'll be hand-delivered by Andrelton Simmons to him. And Andrelton was waving everybody off. Stay out of my way. There's the record setter. Yes, ball in glove.
What a night for the Braves. They beat the Diamondbacks and get this Western swing off to a terrific start. 5 runs on 13 Atlanta hits. Julio Teheran, the winning pitcher, he goes to 6-3. He's now won his last 4 outings in a row. The loser, Brandon McCarthy, he falls to 1-8, and the record-setting save for Kimbrel is his 16th of this 2014 Major League season. 5-2, Atlanta beats the Diamondbacks here at Chase Field. Let's join Jen Hildreth downstairs. Jen?
Yeah, Chip, I'll have Craig Kimbrel here in just a moment. I think we can allow him a chance to get a drink. He's making his way over. All right, Craig, congratulations. I first have to ask, before we get to history, be honest, how relieved were you that you didn't have to bat?
I had no idea what I was doing. I was looking for somebody else's helmet and bat and gloves. I actually wanted to get out there, but it was nice to go back out and get the job done.
Well, as you said, get